I think I'm live. I guess I need to get my phone. So we're gonna put where are you at? Grim, we'll put you back at the top. Okay, let me grab my phone. It's right there. We're going to see if I'm talking to myself or somebody else. Twitch. It appears that I am live. This is good. Hey, there we go. Okay. I'm going to pull up my chat, and then I'm going to make an announcement in Discord, and then we're going to get back to the regular viewing. There's chat. Okay. And let's do a Discord thing. Announcements. Oops. This time from twitch.tv/FWLR official. Wow. Cool. Okay. We'll let everybody know. How do I sound? Am I distorted? Am I... Oh, wow. I'm clipping. Okay. Stop analyzing my my Discord screen. Okay. Is everything okay in terms of like how I sound? My belt is flipped. I hate when that happens. One sec. Let me readjust myself here. Okay. Oh, do you know what a Mobius strip is? I've somehow created a Mobius strip with my belt, so that's neat. Everything's golden. Okay, let's continue. Where were we? We were about to listen to some Rhythm by Grim. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is cool. Is it just me, or is something like panned to the left-hand side? I'm wondering if this is like me not being used to headphones. But to me it sounds like the left-hand side is like that main growly bass thing. It kind of sounds like it's panned over. Did you steal that from me? It sounds like the hot VIP. That's funny. Okay, so to me, this sounds like kind of like a bare minimum starting point for a rhythm track, if you know what I mean. It's not a bad start. It just doesn't have a whole lot of like personality. It's kind of like the sounds of rhythm, but I'm wondering if you should, I'm not really wondering, I think you should try to fit some melody or hook or something in there, you know. You've kind of like laid out the tools to create a rhythm track, but you haven't created the track yet, if that makes sense. So I would say this is definitely a step in the right direction. I like that you're making original stuff, but I think you need to take it a step further. So yeah, it's just a rough concept. Okay, well, for a rough concept, it sounds pretty good. I do agree with Raham. No theme, feels like drums and bass slapped together at the moment. And I mean, they're good sounding drums and bass. I don't really think the panning, I don't know exactly what's going on with the panning, but it's a bit rough. Why do I look like an 8-story tall crustacean from the Paleozoic era today? What? I don't know what that means. Are you on drugs? So yeah, anyway, I think it's a good start, man. I think now you need to find like a song or an idea or a theme, and then use these sounds that you have put together to enforce or kind of get that theme across. Because right now we've just got basically like sound design. So now put some melody in it and go from there. But cool start, and really like the. That's funny. Okay, cool. Which sound card passed away? I had an old PreSonus that it's a Firewire card. I don't know if it's the card or the Firewire PCI Express card that's in my PC. Either way, it's broken now. Nick, what video editor do you use for FL Studio? I use DaVinci Resolve for all of my video editing needs. All right, this next one's called Find You. I don't know who it's from, but we're gonna have a listen. Okay, right off the bat, those vocals are so hot. They're hot. Like, not hot like good hot. Hot like way too loud. Like, before we even got to the drop, I felt like I really wanted to turn it down, but then you guys would see that I was listening to Fruit Salad by The Wiggles. So I'm kind of hesitant to adjust the volume, because every time I do, it'll bring up this. Anyway, moving on. I like the idea. I like the concept here. There's like definitely like that just sounds like Rumble City, you know what I mean? I think it's just getting a bit. Now, the sidechain, I think it is too deep. I get that it's like a stylistic thing. But I think it's just gone a little too far. I love the mood of this, like the dramatic, dark, kind of moody feel. I love that. I think if the vocals, I see some people in chat saying they know the exact vocals, so maybe try to get a more unique vocal. But you can really tell, like, right here, that's kind of just, like, an unacceptable amount of distortion. So it's like, sometimes there's, like, a certain amount of distortion that's okay. That's kind of like that soft clipping or even hard clipping. Like, it's almost like a style thing. But I think that's just kind of technically incorrect here. think the thing that's making me feel like that side chaining is even way like more too far. What the fuck word am I trying to say? The side chaining sounds too deep, yes, but I think the fact that we get this little shaker loop that's just kind of underneath everything until the side chain hits, it almost just like emphasizes how deep the side chaining is. Because you have this like tiny little shaker, and then the side chain like disappears and the shaker's like just kind of like, oh hi, hey guys, you know, for a second. But anyway, I think the track sounds dope. I think that you should turn the vocals down and maybe get different vocals if everybody's like you know, oh, splice vocals or whatever. But for the most part, just try to, I don't know, dial it back a little. I think it's just overall too loud and the side chaining's too deep. Those are my three main concerns. Splice vocals bad, side chaining too deep. Overall, probably pushed a bit too hard, especially in those build-up sections. Cool. All right, let's move on. Thank you for sending whoever sent that. Okay, we got Freeze UKF. I don't know. What the? I love the way my So this is actually really cool. I think the mix is, it definitely could use some love, but like the track is really cool. Why can't I get my screen to stay on? Is there a button to do that? I wonder. It's really annoying to have to keep typing this. Anyway. It's really, I really like, I feel like if this had more modern mixing and processing, it would be a fucking banger. Okay, so to me, first of all, the first thing you could do is carve out a section for the vocals that doesn't have as much bright elements. So like dial it back to be more simplistic. You know, maybe like a kick, a hat, a clap or snare or whatever, a single bass line, and then vocals. Let the vocals do their thing. Then when the vocal's done doing its thing, hit us with all the ride cymbal sloppiness, right? Swiss cheese, I'll move yours up because I know your time zone and that. So I'm gonna move you up next. So yeah, I think simplify. Like dial it way back. As take out as many bright elements as you can without it sounding too simplistic. Have a vocal section so that we can actually hear the vocals and understand what she's saying, because I don't really know what she's saying. And then build it up. Drop the vocals out for the majority of the next section. Just have and like let's focus now on the acid, on the bass line, on that shit, right? To me, I think you have like every element you need to make this entire song, you have, and they're all on top of each other the entire time, you know? So basically, if you had all of these elements, you know, like in a all on top of each other, it's like what you kind of have to do is maybe hold on, this might make sense. Let's do it this way actually. Oh no, I don't have my, oh, that works. So imagine these are the elements of your track. I know it's just your track. This is what you need to do. Oh wait, okay. You know what I mean? So like, this is like the intro. This is like maybe this is the intro. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna make any sense to you. Intro, okay, hit us with like the bass line and shit, then strip out one of the bright bass line things, hit us with the vocal and maybe a hat, okay? And then maybe take away the vocal and bring back in one of the basses. Anyway, my point is, I think you have too much shit on top of each other. I think that's the biggest thing. There are some other mixing issues here, but the biggest thing is arrange it in a way that each section allows like the cool elements to all shine on their own. Right now you have like 5 really dope sounds all kind of on top of each other, so it's kind of hard to focus on one. Yeah. So those are my thoughts. I think this is really, like, with a proper mix and arrangement, this would be a really cool, like, Chris Lake style track, and I dig it. So keep going. All right, Swiss Cheese up next, and I guess Rapture's whatever. Rapture's saying stuff about things, so I'm gonna move him up too. All right, Swiss Cheese and Aiden Dodge again through the Fields original mix. Let's go. I can't see shit with these on. That was really good. I think, like Graham said, I think Graham said you're getting better at layering, and I agree. Although the lead sound, like melodically, it's very strong. The lead sound is a bit basic. I find maybe hold on, I'm formulating a thought. I think maybe the tracks that you send are super melodic, but in like a very complex way. It's almost like all of your leads are like arpeggios or something. And that makes them like, they all sound great and they're exciting and bright and like harmonious and all that, but at the end of the day, can you easily hum this song to somebody? Can you easily explain to somebody what this song is? You know, like there is a hook in there, but it's almost like too embellished. I can easily. I'm not talking about you. I guess I'm talking about like some random person that has no musical skills. They might not be able to sing, but like they could like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time because like there's no glaring issues here. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, you are definitely going in the right direction. So, you're definitely going in the right direction. I don't know if there's any real actionable advice I can give you on this. I think it's every time you send something in, it's definitely better than the last time. This track I easily listened to all the way through without having to stop it. So I would say just keep going. I like how you're experimenting with layering more sounds together. We don't just have straight up cheesy piano. We don't just have straight up sawtooth waveforms. So you're going in the right direction. Keep going. That's pretty much all I have for you, I think. Sorry, I mean, I guess it's a good thing. I don't have like a bunch of negative things to say about it. I think you're getting there. Okay, let's move on. Thank you for sending. All right, next up we got Rapture's ID V3 looking for drop variation references for 2823.
If only you could see me now, you wouldn't see the girl who let you down. I wish I knew what I would do if I could get close to you. Consequences, no more second chances, I know better. If
Yeah, that was sick, man. I think in terms of like references, what you could maybe check out is some John Bellion. This has some John Bellion vibes. Now he doesn't do like crazy EDM style drops or anything too aggressive, but you might still find some ideas or some inspiration if that's what you're looking for. I definitely think John Bellion is a good reference for this one. Now, what I would say is halfway through this drop, so right now it kind of sounds like this half and this half are doing the same thing. I could be wrong, but if they're doing something different, it's pretty subtly different. Um, Everything in the drop is almost like, I don't want to say dull because that sounds bad. It's not dull frequency range, it's or frequency wise. It's just like transient wise. Like your hats are kind of everything is like almost like smudged or blurred a little bit. So maybe halfway through you could bring in like a trap style hat or something something that has a bit more edge to it, because everything else is it's not a bad thing. The first part of the drop sounds dope. I don't think I'd probably change anything about it. But then halfway through, bringing in something with a little bit more transient, or like the snap or the click or an 808 kind of hat might be all it needs. And then a little bit of variation in the sound design, maybe like a little dropout fill somewhere. I think that's really all it needs. But that's one thing I did notice about the drop, is that everything is kind of rounded over or something. So just maybe bringing in a or something simple like that, you know. A moment of silence would be cool in this one. Yeah, definitely. Like a drop. That's what I meant by like a dropout, like fill kind of thing, like at the end of a bar. Even there, where you kind of let that thing, maybe like take the drums out and just let it, and then come back with the drums. That could be cool. But yeah, I don't know if you listen to John Bellion or not. I would definitely check out some of his stuff for some ideas. You might be surprised that, you know, even though he doesn't make like as kind of modern electronica, his is more like pop stuff with the electronica built into it. It still could give you some cool inspiration. But it's a super dope track. I would say mix wise, the vocals could maybe come up, and also when the kind of the, I don't know, screamy bass, whatever you call this bass. I find that drowns out the vocals. Thought John Bellion was just a vocalist. No, he produces his tracks as well. I feel like if you haven't heard of John Bellion, you're going to be a fan of his as soon as you start listening to some of his stuff. I can't speak to all of his music. I haven't listened to him in probably like 3 years, to be honest. But like 3 years ago, whatever was cooking 3 years ago was some good shit. Like there's John JT, I think it's called JT. That track is dope. That's a really good track. Anyway, very cool as always. I love the uniqueness. I love the crispness of like this part and the music box kind of vibe, or kalimba, whatever it's called. Low and good things fall apart. Yeah, that's kind of like, that was the time when I was listening to him. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I think it's dope, and I think you should keep going and resend in the future if you get some work done to it and you want to see what we think. All right, moving on. Let's keep going. Thank you, Raptures, for sending another dope track. Okay. Next up, we got Cola. Everybody say hi to Cola. Okay, let's check out HHS Robust Fracture. That sounds aggressive. Let's just do this. I only have one hand. I don't know, Rayham, what? That was really cool. That was very unique. Definitely unique. I think the only thing that this needs is a strong, if this had a stronger kick and snare, not, I wouldn't say to replace what's there. I feel like this track is pure character. And it just needs a little bit of like production to take it to the next level. So it's very cool. It makes me, it almost reminds me of like Neon Indian a little bit. Let's figure out what the tempo is. Okay, it's 175. Let's just grab a different kick. Sure. I'm gonna turn it down. And then you guys already know where I'm going. You know where I'm going with this. Oops. Two-tonal. Two-tonal. Apparently. There we go. How, do you like this one? You know what I mean? Like everything in this track is super cool and interesting, but it's just missing it's missing that kind of like girth of like the good sounding samples, because everything is kind of degraded in like this really cool lo-fi way. And then let's just, like, for good measure, throw some hi-hats. Sure. Let's see what this sounds like. And I'm just kind of spitballing here. So we'll see. This probably won't work, but we'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? Like even that sounds like an improvement to me, I think. No, the say command does not work currently, because that's for playing games. I kind of didn't want you guys to spam spam me while I'm listening to music with voice to text or text to voice. Anyway, those are my ideas. I think this track is really cool and original. I just think it could use a bit more modern sounds. Anyway, please do that because it sounds dope. I think it sounds good with these drums. Obviously, they'd have to be mixed in properly and whatnot, but I do think if we go back and forth... You know, I think what it is your track has all of the emotion and all of the cool texture and atmosphere to it, but it's missing the shit that makes me go... Right? I'm missing that. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you for sending. We're moving on to Ice Guy Melodic Dubstep Test Track. Yeah, that first chord is definitely, it's got some spice on it, you know? It's got some fucking Tabasco sauce covering it. I think it's interesting what you're doing with that first chord. It's surprising and it's interesting, but it does kind of just sound not maybe good. The drop chords sounded shit, but they sounded all right on the piano. Yeah, it's kind of like, it almost sounds like a movie soundtrack or something where like something bad happened halfway through, like a picnic or so, you know, like everything's going good and then all of a sudden we get this like bad moment. But yeah, I don't know. If that was just a major chord. The one commercial where a car rolls over a kid's picnic. Yep. That's basically what that chord change makes me feel like. I think I have seen it on YouTube, yeah. I feel like this is like the soundtrack to a movie where you're like I'm like eating supper with my significant other and everything's going great, but then I kind of snap out of a daze and I look over and she's been dead for like the past 3 years and it's just like this like skeleton at the dinner table. I don't know. That's kind of what it reminds me of, that first chord. Everything's going nice, but then all of a sudden I've been living with a dead person. Some of like the sounds, I don't think they're playing necessarily the right notes. Like these kind of wubs and shit in between. Wub, 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 wub. I'm not sure that it's the move. Yeah, I think there's a lot of like dubstep samples in here that aren't in the right. It's not that they're in the wrong key, it's just that they might be playing a note that we're not to yet in the chord progression, you know? Like whatever note that is, if we try to figure it out. Meh, 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 meh. See what I mean? Like that right here. Like it's just not the right note for that moment. So I think the biggest thing is that chord. And if you love that chord, you love the twisted feel of it or whatever, then you go, girl. But to me, it just kind of gives me weird feelings like my girlfriend's been dead all along and I'm Bruce Willis in a movie, but it's like kind of backwards because I'm not the one that's dead, but she's the one that's dead. And I see dead people, but it's actually I'm alive, but the other person's dead and I see them as a living person. So it's kind of not really like The Sixth Sense, but it's like it's like a reversed version of The Sixth Sense. And I like the regular version of Sixth Sense, so I think you should change that first chord. Okay, those are my thoughts. Also, the kick drum is kind of like standing on its own down in the sub range. So like if you think about like the kick, the kick drum is like, just think of the sub range. The kick drum is kind of by itself. There's not a whole lot of sub energy. But anyway, biggest thought is that first chord. Make up your mind. If you want, just tell us all to go fuck ourselves and we will. All right, moving on. We got Nat Felix.
Hi.
What's going on? Oh,
I made this for you from scratch.
oh, thank you. Say hi to Morgan, everybody. Thanks, babe. I appreciate it. She made me a hamburger.
It's from McDonald's.
It's from McDonald's?
How could you look at it? Obviously, that's from McDonald's.
I don't know.
The flattest hamburger ever.
Well, I didn't want to offend you. All right. Morgan has delivered me a McDonald's hamburger. Okay, hamburger. Let's check out Nat Felix Surfboard version 7. I'm gonna eat the McDonald's hamburger while we listen. Okay. Okay? Just, I hope you don't mind if I skip this. This is very cool. I like how much of a ninja you were with my brain. I feel like you were just like, hi, 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 yeah, ha, ha, yeah. You know, you're just getting in there. I will say that I think you have a ton of great ideas, but arrangement-wise, you need to surfboard this right into a song structure. There's no real structure here. Like that first drop, I was just getting into it and then it kind of ended. I don't think that's the right time to break down. But then again, I feel like this is probably just a bunch of ideas put together. Because yeah, I think this is really cool. There's a lot of really great stuff happening. But now you're... Excuse me, I burped. Excuse me, I burped again. I think your next step is to like do an inventory of all the cool shit you have and then arrange it in a structure that builds up our anticipation, gets us rocking until we're like, oh, no more. Like we're all rocked out, and then give us a breakdown. We're like, ah, and then build us up. We're like, oh my God, I can't believe I have more energy. Let's go. I want to rock some more. And then you let us rock some more, you know? Because you got lots of great sounding shit in here. You just gotta arrange it in a more strategic way. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I didn't hear anything really wrong with anything besides it just kind of sounds like you're like, here's an idea, 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 and they're all in the same key and tempo, but they're not really like a song. And that's not to say that you can't do all kinds of crazy shit, you know? Like, I wouldn't lose, like, this, like, saxophone part or anything like that. It's just, how do you present it in a way that makes sense? Right now, it just kind of feels, it just kind of feels a little disjointed, if you will. But it sounds dope. I enjoyed every section, but I want to enjoy it as one section, not individual sections, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. I like it. Make it better. Okay, next we got Outa Gutta Walks Like You ID. Okay, here we go. Rayhem moment? So I'm kind of torn on the side chain. Because it's kind of like early, but I kind of like it. It's kind of like wrong technically, but it kind of gives it a, I don't know. I kind of don't mind it. Okay, so first thought was this section right here in the start, it needs something to pick up the pace to kind of like let us know that we're going somewhere, because it kind of drug on a little bit, you know, like the vocals sound good, but like maybe if this was kind of doing like one of these things, you know, maybe if there was like something happening, or even if it just stepped up with like an extra percussive thing. I just feel like this section is too long on its own, because it just kind of the drops are cool. No real concerns there. Besides, I am wondering about the side chaining thing. Yeah, maybe they did it to get rid of a click. I'm not sure. I mean, they're in chat. Maybe they can answer that. But I don't know. The jury's out on that one. Then we got this. I think the biggest thing that this needs is this section, the breakdown section. I think you need to revisit this, because it doesn't necessarily like string me along. Like, okay, we got an energy level of like a 1, right? Then we kind of go to an energy level of like a 6. Then we kind of go to an energy level of like 5, building up to the drop. So to me, I'm not quite sure what the point of this section is. Like, why wouldn't you just go, like... And if you love that section, don't let me stop you. But like, why... What is this section doing? You know, is it not just better to go right to this? Like, to me, that makes more sense. I don't know what normal length means, to be honest. Like, okay, is it because it's like 2.5 minutes? Is that the issue? I mean... So, like, shoehorning in sections that don't make sense just because you want to hit a length is kind of like a car. Why is that? That's so weird. It's kind of like a car company. Like, the CEO's like, I want this car to be 17 feet long. And then the car is only 16 feet long. So they take, like, a stick and they tape it to the end of it. So, yes... Technically, it is now 17 feet long, but like, what have we done to get there? I don't know if that makes sense. It's just kind of like, I don't know what, this is really bothering me. I don't know how I've done this. See how it's like showing a link? This is new. This is a new thing for me. This is so weird. How did I do this? I've quantum entangled these two audio waveforms that are actually the same. Oh my god. Anyway, I think if you want to hit a certain length, do it in a way that makes sense, not just like, hey guys, yay, we hit a metric, you know. It just doesn't make sense to me. This section felt unnecessary, didn't feel like it provided any value to the listener. So if you want to make it longer, do it. Maybe extend the last drop. Give us like one more Oh my god. Can I just delete this? And did I like somehow total... Am I holding down a key? What is happening? Okay, we're good now. Maybe like hit us with one, like a C part to the last drop or something. I don't know. There's better ways to do it. Don't tape a stick to the end of your car to make it 17 feet long. I guess that's the story. That's my story that I'm telling. Okay, we got Rage Stone. Thank you for sending, by the way. That was very cool. I would just, my one note would be to make this 2 notes. Make the build up at the very start of the track more entertaining so that I don't feel like skipping it, and get rid of that unnecessary section in the breakdown. All right, moving on. Rage Stone, last track made in FL Studio in the process of switching to Ableton. Wow. Okay. Very cool. Let's have a listen.
Then
This is like old school dubstep.
then
I love this pre...
then
Damn, I love that. This is like old school, like hippies in a forest rave. Hippies raving... Wait. Dirty hippies raving in a forest to old school dubstep.
then
I don't know. Raham says this isn't old school dubstep. I think it's cool. I like it. I feel like your drums... I feel like if you brought down the volume of your drums, like if we look at this waveform and we go like this, Raham's getting all pedantic on us over here. I feel like if you cut your drums off a little bit quieter, look at all that extra headroom that you could turn everything up. To me, the track feels a bit too dynamic for the style. I feel like it should be a bit more sausagey. You know what I mean? And we could even do this. Let's just do this. Let's do this thing. This is gonna be sacrilege. I'm just straight up doing what I did there with the paint. And I don't think I have Ozone installed on this computer. Whatever, fuck it, we'll go to the limiter. So let's compare those two effects on and off. So you see when I go back and forth between turning on this wave shaper that's just literally flattening the top half of the waveform. Excuse me, I have the hiccups now. That's neat. The only difference is, of course, we get a little bit of distortion, which is kind of not probably desirable. But all of a sudden, the kick and the snare don't really sound any quieter, but everything else is much more present in the mix. It's way louder. So I'll go back and forth again. Is that why I only have sound in one ear? I've just been dealing with it. Okay, those are my thoughts. I think it's super cool. And a nice throwback, even though Rayham disagrees with me, but whatever, fuck Rayham. I think I say that at least once per stream. Okay, let's move on. Thank you for sending. I hope that helps. Okay, we got Singularity, Singe, Numb Remix. Let's have a listen.
You never
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there for a sec. So, I actually think this part is very cool, but I was not ready for the the change that you made, or like it's not really a chord progression. There's no chords, but like the notes that you're playing, I wasn't ready for them. So I feel like you need to either have a new short, maybe it doesn't have to be very long, but a little build-up section that introduces this new like melodic element, or this new because hitting us with the drop from the first time, it almost like I have to listen to a couple bars before I understand what's going on, and I'm already in the drop. I shouldn't really be thinking necessarily in the drop, right? So I would try to introduce the you know, the whatever, the thing that's different about this remix, you know, like the bass line notes. I would incorporate them in the build, or have a new space where you like give us the chance to get accustomed to this thing, you know what I mean? Okay, let's move on. Where was I? I was here. Also, is your sub bass doing the same notes? I kind of feel like it's not.
I will stick around for you to play all my life away. Trigger with your promises that change every single day, breaking me into 1,000 shades. You had me floating away. I will stick around for you to play. If I stick around, you had me floating away, floating away, floating away. You had me floating away.
Yeah, so I was much more ready for like this drop, because I first of all, I had heard it during this drop, but also in this section leading up. no, 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 no. It's building up, and now I'm ready for it a bit more, if that makes sense. So I would I would introduce it a bit more before the first drop, and I would also make sure that your sub bass is playing the right notes, because I'm kind of feeling like there's a few times where the sub bass ain't playing the right notes. This part's really cool. I like this part. That I don't know if that's the right note though. That one. I don't know. I feel like there might be a better note for that. Anyway, very cool remix. Thank you for stealing my stems and making a remix. It was cool. I liked it. All right, let's move on. 10 to 2, 10 to 2, Callus. This is definitely penis music. Dude, this sounds like something in a nightmare where a fucking clown is chasing me with a chainsaw. And like this, during this part, I finally escaped him. You know, like I went around a corner and like down a hall, and I think I've gotten away. But no, there's the clown. That was the silliest experience I've had all day, I think. I don't know what to tell you. This part freaked me out. I felt like you were in my room all of a sudden. I really like the drums during this section. That I like the way that snare clap sound hits. It's a smacker. Overall, this track is very silly and terrifying at the same time. I don't know what you want to do with that information. I don't necessarily have any real ideas for you. I think overall, this track is Just the soundtrack to be murdered by a clown too. But I did enjoy it. It was entertaining for sure. Okay, thank you for sending. Let's move on. We're gonna unname, change the past. Let's listen. Oh shit. Okay, I wonder what this drop would sound like. One sec. What if this drop didn't have the BDD in the start? Like you use that, brought it in around here. I'd try that. Because the drop is so dark and like evil, but that I feel like is a carryover. Yeah, it's in the build. So it kind of makes this drop a little less impactful. Because we had the here. So it just kind of sounds like we didn't go as far as we probably should have. I would try taking that out. I don't know if it's going to sound better or worse, but I would try taking that out for the first part and just maybe like white noise and have just like the deep kind of like almost like psytrance sounds or whatever going. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so I actually didn't mind this build up. I thought I was going to mind it, but I didn't. The words "the past" are absolutely unaudible. I also don't know about the Raham fake out. I feel like at a certain point, you gotta give us a snare. Yeah, I think if you're like trying to get into a big trance, like yes, mission accomplished. But I think even just bringing in a snare at some point would be a pretty big moment, and you could use that to break up the monotony of it, you know? Build it up with just kick and kick and a kick and a kick and a kick, and then kick and a snare and a kick and a snare. All of a sudden, oh my god, the crowd loses their shit because there's a snare, you know? But yeah, the vibe is like very good, very post-apocalyptic, dystopia. I feel like I'm being chased by an android. Very cool. Try to mix it up a bit and add a snare. Those are my thoughts. Thank you. All right, we got Wolf Ford Overdose. So I think melodically you've got a handle on things. I think production is what needs to work. I think side chaining, like the snare, is just completely lost. If you listen. Like, I know there's a snare there, but I think I might only know there's a snare there because there's supposed to be a snare there, if that makes sense. Like, if I didn't know there was supposed to be a snare there, I might not be hearing that snare. So, side chaining. Figure out how to do side chaining. Use that to allow these super bright, or not bright, but loud elements like all your bass and your melodic shit. Use side chaining to duck those out of the way so you can have a nice loud kick and snare and not have to worry about clipping. I think that's basically my main concern with this, is just learn side chaining and your mixing will go a lot easier. I like the indie vibes. I like the the melodic. Oops, didn't know you could do that. That's cool. I like the melodic stuff of it. I think it just you need to learn how to do side chaining. I don't know what DAW you're in, DAW that you are in. But whatever it is, figure out how to do it. Okay, thank you. Thanks for sending. All right, we got Zachary Herbst. I'm waiting to get some sax to go with this. Oh, God. Okay. This is real sad boy hours. This track's cool. It's kind of it's very emotional. I feel like it should have like a sad boy rapping about things aren't going so well. If I keep doing this shit, I'm gonna go to hell. You know, like that sort of shit. It's like, I regret cheating on her with her stepmom, but she had such a nice bum. You know, like that sort of shit. It needs vocals. It needs something. Yeah, I think sax could be cool, but honestly, this sounds like it needs to have some sad boy rap on it. I don't know. I think that it would work so well. I think okay, here's what I think. I think if this had a little bit more, a little bit harder of drums. Okay, so let's figure out what the tempo is. Okay, so 80. Not that one. Let's just see what it sounds like with hi-hats. I feel like even just hi-hats. Sure, I'll just pick the first one. Here we go. Okay, not like that. We're not going to do it like that, though. We're gonna go like this. Like, I feel like it would have to be kind of finangled in there. But already, I think that maybe don't drop with that. Maybe bring that in as a pickup, and then let's figure out like a snare. We won't use Baby Making snare because I know you guys are getting tired of that. Sure, let's use this one. I think what you have here is great for character, but it just doesn't quite cut it technically, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I think what this needs is it just needs a bit more drums, and really could hear like some like sad boy fucking rap singing. I don't know. I think this has a lot of potential. It sounds really cool. It has a lot of character. You just need to keep going with it. It makes me want to rap about like stepmoms or whatever, I guess. Cool. All right. I think that's all. I'm gonna leave it on that note. Let's move on. Unless you want to answer Raham's question. Advance 5. One moment, I'm listening. Thanks for the hamburger. Okay, up until this point, I just kind of felt like you were perpetually leading me by the hand into Narnia. Like, it kind of, maybe it needs to build a little bit more, like, strategically towards the drop or something, but I just kind of felt like at a certain point, I'm like, hey, I'm ready to walk through the closet. Where's the closet, you know? Also, I felt like the reverb on the snare kind of made me not feel that great inside. I feel like it's lacking melody. I think maybe that's... like sometimes I have these thoughts or feelings and I don't fully understand them. So like the whole, I feel like you're leading me into Narnia. I think it's because there's just like there's just all these like flourishes and embellishments and like fancy things happening all over the place, but I don't necessarily hear a theme or a motif. Uh, yeah, I'm not hearing like a motif. The bass, that shit is fucking, that's very cool. I really do like that. But I think, like Adexi said, really good atmosphere. Yes, very good atmosphere, but that's kind of all it is up until this point. It's just kind of very atmospheric, like, whoa, you know? That. Okay, let's keep going. Our dog is losing its shit. You know what I mean? Like, even in, okay, I gotta go get, hold on 1 second. Sorry. The dog was barking. So even in this section, I have a dog and a cat. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like this, whatever this is, you know? Like all around me, I feel like I'm like there's fairy dust and you know, rainbow seeds and you know, cookie powder or whatever. It's just it's everything except a melody. I feel like it needs some sort of melody. Yeah, I think you might be going a little heavy-handed on the reverb just in general. It just kind of gives the whole track a bit of a smoothed over vibe. It kind of loses some of the edginess when there's that much reverb. But I really do think the biggest thing with this track is just to find, I'm sure there's like probably 3 or 4 great melodies amongst all of the cool little flourishy stuff that you're doing, but to pick one of those and be like, this is now the melody of the song, and to reinforce that with different synths or just draw more attention to it by repeating it more often or something, you know what I mean? It just feels like it's missing that a hook, I guess. But the track is very whimsical and it feels epic to me. I just think that if it had like a solid theme to it, you would be much better off. Okay, those are my thoughts. Thank you. Next up, we got Bandwave Emmanuel Lonely Mess Remix Whip version 7. That sounds like burnt out. What the, Yeah, yeah, it sounds like Usher, yeah.
Everything's so peaceful here. I was confused, but now I see clear. Everything's so peaceful here. Everything's so peaceful here. This is a mess. It burns out in flames. Searches for oxygen. Breathe in, breathe out. Time stands still as you take my hand. Anything so peaceful here. I was confused, but now I see it. Everything so peaceful here. Breathe in, breathe out. Time stands still as you floating flames. Breathe in, breathe out. Time stands still as you take.
Wow. That was wacky. I do have thoughts about the structure. I feel like, you know, maybe this drop could be here, it could break down, then it could do a drop again, you know, something like that. I did feel like I was like a when will the bass drop moment again. You know, like I was just waiting for something to happen and it wasn't happening. And there was lots of great stuff there. Everything sounds cool. I just think that it just took too long to get to the drop. And I know like this track is not like a, ooh, check out that drop kind of track, you know? Like it's more than that. It's interesting and it's more than just like, hey, get to the drop. I don't care about the rest. But at the same time, I kind of just felt like I was being like led on. Oh, what's up, Bandwave? Good timing. So my thoughts, I don't know if you heard any of what I've already said, but I think the structure, yeah. I think the structure just, it could move along a lot faster. I think you could go right to the drop. But see, like, you kind of have everything you need to make a more, I don't want to use the word predictable because that has, like, negative connotations to it. But, like, you could string us along build us up and then hit us with a drop and then break down in this section. And then back to like a slight variation of the first drop and then an outro. And now I think that structure will be easier for someone to digest, because I didn't really feel like, I wasn't even sure if it was ever going to drop. I thought maybe it was just like building towards the end or something like that. Lonely Mess arrangement, it was unorthodox, but I'll experiment. Yeah, I mean, it's all subjective, right? I think it's worth a try. Save it as a new project and build it up, drop it a bit more typical, you know, break it down, build it back up, drop more typical. Maybe that's the way to go. But I did feel like I was like, hey, I'm ready for this to do a thing, you know? Like I'm ready for it to do the thing. It doesn't even need to like drop hard. It wasn't even that I was waiting for like a drop. I was just waiting for the thing, whatever that thing was. So those are my thoughts. I think it sounds dope. There's a lot of really crazy, cool sounds happening, and the vocals are obviously amazing. So yeah, maybe experiment with the arrangement, see where that takes you. Okay, let's move on. We got Cat Attack Defragmentation. I haven't had to do one of those in a while. Let's have a listen.
Time is running out.
It sounds great. It could maybe be mastered a little bit harder. I feel like you have like kind of unnecessary headroom here. It obviously doesn't have to be fucking squanched, but like, yes, I'm using this. So don't master it with a distortion pedal, but I wanted to take a look. This is the first one that you sent about a year ago. Let's have a listen. I just want to Like, that was still very, very good. But I think it was like 6 months ago you started putting drums in your tracks. Yeah, I would say like you've always had that kind of ambient skill, but ever since you started making beats with your ambient skills, you've shown some real improvement. So good job. It's dope. I have nothing really to say besides maybe make it a little bit louder. Holy fuck, look at this. What is this? What is that? It looks like a... Oh my god, wait. I know what it is. I know what it is. Oh no. Oh, I ran out. Shit, hold on. It's the Saturn V rocket taking off. That's the tip. Anyway, okay, let's have a listen to Adexi Kushmer Party Tonight featuring Garten Merrick's April Fool's Special. Happy birthday, Eswin. Oh, this was for the stream last week. That didn't happen. Okay, here we go.
Peace up.
Okay, what are the fucking chances? This is insane. So we got Usher. And then, was it this one? No, was it this one? Which track was it? Fuck. Okay, I need to look at the chat. Can anybody remember? It was the Bandwave one. Thank you. Thank you. Now where's the... Oh, here we go. What are the chances of that shit happening? Can somebody tell me? Yes, you do. Listen. Hold on. I just have to do this. Oh, no, wait. Down one. Tell me that's not Usher. Come on. What sometimes shit happens on here and I'm just like, what are the chances? Thank you, Adexi. That really kept me on the edge of my seat and gave me a headache because my eyes kept going like this higher and higher to the point where I didn't know they could go that high. Yeah!
I never saw it coming. I couldn't read the signs. I don't know why I let you in this time. I must be blind. I guess I couldn't trust you, 'cause all you did was lie. Oh no, I have to keep you off my mind. 'Cause of you, I'm wired up. I don't want you. It's time for you to go. Oh, you, I had enough. I don't want you. It's time for you to go. I never saw it coming. I couldn't read the signs. I don't know why I let you in this time. I must be blind. I guess I couldn't trust you, 'cause all you did was lie. Oh no, I have to keep you off my mind. 'Cause of you, I'm wired up. I don't want you. It's time for you to go. Oh, you, I had enough. I don't want you. It's time for you to go.
I love the chords. I think the drop goes a little soft. It's kind of like the sub on the kick is overbearing. I think that's my issue here. And you can kind of see just by looking at it. Like this is where the click would be. But it's not that this needs like a super like ding, ding, ding. It just the kick just kind of sounds a bit too wompy. If you could get more definition to the beat, because it's almost like you've got the sub range of the kick way up front and everything else, the shaker, the claps, the percussion, it's all kind of underneath everything. I think if you could work on getting the definition of the drop to be a bit sharper, a bit more edgy, then you're going to profit harder. You're going to profit so hard. Because I almost can only hear the bottom end of the kick. See what I mean? If I just take away, it almost sounds like there's no drums. I wonder how these melodies come to mind. Makes me cry because I can't make one. Sometimes, sometimes these melodies, at least in my experience, come from just fucking around. And like maybe whoever wrote this melody had it in their mind, like, oh, I got this great melody idea, and they wrote it, right? But sometimes maybe the singer sang a bunch of lines and he just cut it up and threw things around randomly, and then something spoke to him. Something was like, hey, I just did this thing, and then you kind of like I do that all the time. For example, a couple of streams ago or whatever, when I showed the Girthquake track project, one of the melodies came from time stretching a single tom hit or something, like a single like dong, and I time stretched it and it was like or something. It did like a melody. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I should try to like run with that. Like that sparked an idea. Don't get too upset if you can't come up with good melodies. Just keep trying, because it is something, like Graham said, it's acquired over time. And if you just stick with it, you will figure out your way of writing melodies. People have different ways. Some people like to write melodies on an acoustic guitar because it's easy for them to, you know, they get the muscle memory. Some people are great singers and they can just sing a melody. Some people have fucking arpeggios going, and then they're picking out little runs in the arpeggio, or they commit it to audio and now they can cut it up and move it around. Like, there's no real one size fits all answer to tell you how to write a good melody. It's just something that you got to develop over time. I'm just like, speaking of muscle memory, I just did this shape for absolutely no reason on the EQ. That's cool, I guess. So yeah, I think the biggest thing for this is tone down the bottom end of the kick drum and get the drums more present. You know, the percussion and the drums is what's gonna give this thing its pace. It's what's gonna get us moving. You know, the South American rhythm, whatever, the Cuban rhythm. When I went to Cuba, it was funny. Everything that they played was anyway. Turn up the percussion, make it more lively by bringing out the drums a bit more in the top end, and that's it. I think it's cool. That's it for this week. Thank you for joining me in my room. I'm going to buy a new audio interface tomorrow. It's been a long time coming. I've been complaining about it for, oh god, quite a while. Probably, oh look, that's neat. Well, it always restarts. So it does this weird thing where if I try to change the sample time, it restarts the computer. It's really fucking weird. Anyway, I'm going to do that so that next week we can do it from the studio, because I like doing it there better. All right, I hope you guys have a good weekend. I love you all. Thank you for sending, and I will see you next week.